Well, here's the car back from the blaster. It's got it back 2 days ago. It's March 23rd, 2007, and cleaned up pretty well. Most everything is solid enough to work with. Um, got some small issues. Got some stuff down here which we knew we would have, but that's going to be addressed pretty easily. Firewall is in good shape, as well as the other side of the car. And there's a little bit of problem down here, but that'll be taken care of. It won't be bad. A couple little spots, which I know it's hard to see with this bright light. A couple little pinholes there on the side of the body. One area that I don't care for is down here in the bottom. It's got a lot of rust all the way through in this lower section, so I'm getting some repair panels to put in there. Otherwise, kind of whites out there. Otherwise, it's really solid. It'll take a little bit of repair work, a little more welding, and a few spots. Here's this other side, and we can see that it's also eaten through. So I have to fix that. Pretty solid in the back. And then as we come around back to the inside, everything in here is pretty solid, except for the very back. There's a spot there that's not really too much of a concern. It'd be nice if that was solid. Not sure if that has any structural value, but come back here where this big hump is, and you can see it's rusted through here. It's also, some of the pieces are very thin, and if you look even further back, I don't know if I can get it in the camera or not, but it's rusted through all the way through back to here. This metal, everything behind here is really thin, so I'm going to replace this whole panel. It actually has some rivets that seem to hold it together here, and it looks like it has screws. So this is your seat bottom or riser, and they sell that as a replacement, so I'm going to replace the whole thing. Further back, you can see there's some rust back there, but that'll be mostly addressed by those repair panels, and over there as well. So I think all that'll get cleaned up. Well, let me turn this camera off for a second, and I'll show you something else. This is the wood kit, and as you can see, this is really nice stuff. It's all white oak, and some of the original wood was poplar, I believe. And I want to show you something here. This is a corner piece for the right rear, and you can just see the condition of it. It's all dry rotted and falling apart, and this will be the replacement part. And as you can see, it's very well done, very smooth, looks almost identical to what came out of it. Here's another piece. This is the part that will go up in the back window, or back top of the roof, and this is the part that came out. And you can see that it's all split and dry rotted and falling apart. This is really neat though. These pieces here, which are covered in pitch or tar or something, these were up on the top of the roof, and we just go right underneath the roof line but above the bows, and these just fell apart upon removal, and you can see how bad they were. But these two long pieces here, that they're sitting on are the replacements. Very well made. But this is probably the best part right here. And look at this. This is the header for the front. And to give you some idea, this is what came out of it, or what was left of it. And I'll show you where this goes in just a second. I'm really going to be excited when I install this. I think it's going to be just the right, just the perfect piece. Look at that. See there? That's going to be so nice to have that in place. I can't wait for that. And I'll grab one of the other pieces and show you where it goes. Okay, here's that piece again, but there's where that long piece goes. Goes up on top of that ledge right there. If we can, there we go, put a light on it. And that's going to sit up there. And then the crossbows will attach to that. And it'll be solid once again. That's about it for now. So, we'll catch up with you next time. Well, here's a little update. Got the wood kit, as I think I mentioned before. But I've started coating all the pieces with a urethane coating. And this will help protect it from moisture. I'll probably end up putting 3 coats on. But along with that, I've got one of the splash pans here. This is a filler piece that goes between the rocker panel, the rocker panel of the body and the running board. So I got both of those blasted. They're in really good shape. And here's one of the running boards. This is the top side, and I think that's probably the passenger side. I've coated that with POR 15 to help keep it from ever rusting again. And the other one is sitting here. It has the some of the wood pieces on it, some of the bows that are getting finished up. I've taken apart the windshield assembly, as seen here. It's going to need some work. Get it cleaned up as well. I'm using a motorcycle to hang some of the pieces that I've coated with the urethane, and I'm also using the rear luggage rack to make sure that is put to good use. I've received a bunch of parts for the car, a lot of wiring and miscellaneous pieces and stuff, and other stuff for the engine, some a hose connector and terminals, and I can't even remember what all. A bunch of door handles. I got the interior pieces for the doors, the window cranks, the door handles, some gaskets and seals and whatnot. Progress on the car. I got the forward patch panels welded in on both sides. I think I may have already filmed this, but I'm not sure. But both of those are in. And I've also coated the inside of it with the POR 15. All the interior panels until I ran out. And so I've got to get another can and do the inside of the firewall and get it taken care of. Otherwise, everything else is coated, and I still have to put the floor pan in the back. I've also undercoated a good bit of the bottom of the car, so it'll be ready to go. But just a quick update, and still working. Bye. Here's a little update. This is May 6th, and got that floor piece in, the floor support for the back seat. It's all welded in. I just need to get some paint on it. I just have some of the wood setting up in place here. That's going to be up in the top, and it's not bolted in yet, but it's fitted up to where it needs to be. I've also been working on this forward panel, trying to get it smoothed up. It's giving me a little bit of struggles. It's coming along. And then back here is the there was some damage to the inner wheel well, let's say, of the rear, and I put in 2 patch panels, one on each side, so that those are going to be solid again. And I'll come over here and we'll look at this side too. And I've got some putty on the seam, so that'll be good to go. And I'm also still puttying up a little bit up here on the roof, trying to get that smooth. So once it's all in place, I'll be ready to put this front panel on once all the wood is finished up, as far as being mounted. And then need to get to the shop and get some primer on it. The other news, I guess, is got the fenders blasted, and as you can see, maybe not see, turn this light off, this fender has some pretty good damage to it that had been brazed and welded, and it's pretty damaged. I'm going to have to do some repairs to that. And also there's some areas like here in the back where it's been hit. I'll have to try to reshape all that. The other fenders are at the shop getting primered, and some repair work done on them as well. As far as the front end goes, got the lug nuts on and the hubcaps on, and finished up a couple little things I had to do with the front steering, so that's in place. And here's the other one with the lug nuts and the hubcap. And of course, I think I already showed the new starter, but there's the radiator hoses in place with the clamps. And that's about it. And we'll catch up with you next time. Well, here we are, June 8th, 2007. And I'm going to call this a milestone because we got all the wood is in the top except for the corner pieces. So the new header is in, and the new top rails that run above the window openings are in, and I got the forward roof panels nailed on and where they're supposed to go, and I got the wood drilled that goes on top of those, and I also mounted up the center wood for where the seats mount, and I think you can probably see that. Yeah, here it is. So it's coming along. Hopefully tomorrow I'm going to try to get it over to the shop and try to finish up the body work and maybe get some primer on it. Here we go. This is in, the car's now in final primer. Hopefully you'll be able to scuff it and shoot it today and get the blue and the black on, at least on this part of it. Hopefully the doors. Light coming off the back blind you. These are the splash pans that go between the body and the running boards. July 24th. Well, we got a couple weeks left to really get this done. Got the wood tracks in, so all I got to do is put the bows across the top, put the center bar in. It goes in here. It's a metal bar. Get that in place. Looking inside the car, I got the wood up in the corners. Oh. Gotta do a little finishing work there. Believe it or not, the window is in there and it's nice and clear, just like it was when it was new. So the windows are in, and I've got new felts running in the window tracks. So I have those for the front as well. And then I got the splash pans on the car. I got the running boards recovered with the matting. Got all the wood blocks in place. So they're ready to go. There's the roof kit in that box. And then there's boxes there and a box there. And the headlights are in that box. Another box of parts. Here's a seat I'm probably going to try to put in the back of it. And, oh, here's the other thing. Here's the rebuilt steering box and steering column. And I've got new chrome rods for the throttle and timing. And also new control arms in place as well. So once I get the body on the car, then I can set the steering box back in and hook up some steering arms, and we can go from there. Hopefully have this ready to go in 2 weeks. Well, had a little help tonight. Had some old timers come by who know how to do this stuff, and we finished putting in the bows and putting on the visor, which is kind of smudged here, but that'll clean right up. And then we've got chicken wire in, and then tomorrow I'm going to put in the linen material. That'll go down first on top of the chicken wire, and then there will be the foam, which I guess in the original construction they used a cotton batting material, but this is just a thin 1/4 inch thick piece of foam. And then hopefully we'll get the roof all stretched on, and that'll be good to go. And there's a shot from inside. There, light kind of helps. So I've also gotten out all the hardware that is yet to be installed. Got a little carried away buying bolts and screws and gaskets and seals, and I got a brand new set of taillights to go on it, and wiring, and all kinds of pieces, parts. And as you can see, I've got them laid out on this table here. And there's still other pieces. There's over there is a box with the rear bumper pieces in it. I've already seen the headlights. And then I've got, there's one of the doors. And then back here I've got another box that has the front bumpers in it. So, deadline's approaching. It's right at 2 weeks from today. So, see what happens. Managed to get a little further today. Here's something kind of significant and insignificant at the same time. Is a little data plate from Ford. Put that back on the firewall. The original you couldn't even read. We actually got the roof on today. Just have a little bit of finish work to do on the back to get the trim out done back there. But otherwise it's all in. And doesn't look too bad, considering that it probably didn't look any better when they were new. So, coming along. Hopefully tomorrow we have the body sitting on the chassis. I've got the chassis underneath, basically, the body. I've got the top done on the body. and I'm getting ready to try to put the two together today, and hopefully all goes well and doesn't have any problems and everything lines up. It should, but we'll find out. So we'll let you know in a minute. Well, after some trial and error and fitment problems, the body's now back on the chassis. Luckily I had Jake come out here and give me some help. So it's sitting on it. We just need to get the bolts in it and then make sure everything's square so that the doors line up, and just continue assembly. The buzz in your ear, by the way, my light. Sorry. Well, I thought things were going pretty well. Got the rear fenders on. They lined up pretty good. Got the new welting in. That turned out pretty good. You can see it there if you look real close. There it is. And got the body bolts in. We got the body bolted down. So seems like things are going good until I come up here to the front and I started trying to set the radiator tonight. And as you can see, the fan is interacting with the radiator. And the hoses are where they're supposed to be, and the mount holes are where they're supposed to be. So I'm kind of at a dilemma at the moment, trying to figure out what I need to do to make this fit, because if I stretch the radiator forward, the hood gap may not work. So I'm a little confused right now. But I'll get some knowledgeable people over here to give me a hand, and somebody has some experience with this, and see if they can't give me some guidance. Today is Thursday, August 2nd, and I've gotten a little bit done work done on the car. I think I got the radiator figured out. I now have a gap for the fan, and I went ahead and mounted up, actually tightened up all the hose clamps. So I haven't tried to put fluid in it yet, but soon we'll put some water and antifreeze in it. I've also installed the wire that runs from the distributor up through the terminal box, and then that will go inside to the ignition switch. Also added on a fuse for the starter so that it doesn't have any problems and cause a fire or anything. Gotten the gas tank painted. It's back here and it's ready to install. I just need to figure out a little bit of how the cowl lacing attaches, or the welting I should say, for the gas tank. It'll sit up here. I've had a couple different people tell me different things, and I just want to make sure I get it right so that it looks good and serves its purpose. Other than that, painted a few more things. That's the wire housing for the light switch and the horn. And over here is the new wire. That's what this is here. This goes inside of that housing, and this has all your connections for the brakes and horn and whatnot. So it's getting there. You got a couple other pieces painted today. Terry painted them. We have the parking brake. Got the one of the door latches, the other door latch, and this is the bracket for the original horn, and the horn will be painted as well. We're working on it at the shop. So that's about where it's at right now. It's coming together. We just need to make sure we get it good to go and running. Got about 1 week left. August 3rd, I guess. Anyway, making progress. Got the new fuel line with the glass bowl installed on the carburetor. Actually got the some of the wires going through the terminal box. Big thing is, got the gas tank in, and it seemed to fit okay. Had a little trouble with the welting that runs in between the tank and the body. But over here is the end of the light switch, horn, everything else that connects to the bottom of the steering column. And of course all these wires are new. These wires go forward. These are for the horn, this yellow and blue one here. And then they have this other set which actually splits off. Got this one and that one down on the floor. Those are for the headlights. I've run the wires down the body. I've also installed a kill switch so that it cuts off power to the car, and I've installed the fuel gauge, and I rebuilt that so that it would be nice. And of course now you can see the blue of the tank on the inside, a little bit different, but that's the way they did them. Well, it's Sunday the 6th, I believe. Played around a little bit. I'm not sure where I left off yesterday. Did get the coil on, got the wires hooked up. Terminal box isn't covered up right now, but I managed to get the windshield in, or at least mostly in. I still have some adjusting to do to it. Doesn't quite want to seal right, but it is working and it's in its right spot. I also put in this cool back seat. It's out of a minivan, but boy, it fits in there so good and it's so comfortable, it may just stay. Haven't fully decided on that one yet. Around here, last night I think I put on the left side rear bumper, and that looks pretty good with that stainless. And I also tonight put on the left turn signal and brake light. I should say brake light, not turn signal light. And those are of course all new brackets and lights. Still need some bolts to put this one on, and I was fitting up the some wood pieces for the floor, make sure they were going to fit right. And these pieces are here to go. I painted up the wood pieces today, at least the one side of them, and those will go in probably tomorrow. Still got more to put on. Still got the obviously steering column to put in. There's the headlight bar. That thing really slicked up nice with the paint. Lots and lots to do, but the list is getting shorter, thank goodness. Yesterday I managed to get the steering column in with a little help. Steering wheel is kind of cracked up and needs to be probably replaced. I actually have another one, but it's not ready to install yet. We did install the steering column and the garnish molding that goes up behind the column. He went so far as to, let's see, we installed a little dash light. I think you can see it come on right there. So that's kind of neat. And got the wiring figured out for the gauge cluster, so I need to put that in. Got the chrome on the window put on both sides, so now the window opens and locks in place like it should. Today I worked on putting a couple seats in. These are out of a minivan, but they fit perfect, and they're really almost the same dimension as the original seats, only these have some features that are nice. They have headrests, and they also recline, which is kind of nice, and they slide back and forth, which the originals didn't. I did have to make some brackets so I could mount them to the original locations of the old seats, and of course the back seats also have headrests. And then I also put in the floor mat today. It's kind of hard to see, but it's a nice rubber floor mat. Eventually this will look a lot better once we get all the interior pieces in. Just worked on little things today, trying to get everything in place, getting ready to hang the doors tomorrow. We did find that we got the engine running yesterday with some help, and unfortunately this replacement water pump has a leak, and it's a leak in the casting. It's not a seal, it's actually the casting. So I have another water pump on the way, so I got to take all this back off, the radiator, the fan, of course the water pump, and figure that out. So hopefully that arrives tomorrow. I also installed the Calban lacing, which is up here, and that'll be where the hood rides whenever it's closed. I still need to put on the stainless Calband, which will ride right here and all the way down, and that's what's hanging right there. It's kind of hard to see, but that'll be installed probably tomorrow. That's this stainless piece right here. Need to clean it up a little bit. Still have some miscellaneous items to put together. Got the window felts for the doors. Got the stainless steel hood rods, the other hubcaps here. There's less and less pieces of nuts and bolts and hardware. I did have to replace the top of the grill shell. This is a very nice part that I bought. Obviously original one used, but that'll look much better than the one that was rusted through and had bad holes in it. So that grill shell needs to be cleaned up yet and painted. And also finished putting the horn together today. So it's been all repainted. Still left some of the original dents in it. I thought that was kind of makes it more authentic. And but I did replace the original Spartan name tag. The original was you couldn't read it at all. So this is what came on it. So replace that. Still have a few bags and parts, but the number is dwindling, so that's a plus. And got the floorboards in today. The rear ones actually have them screwed down and attached, and the forward ones worked on them. Put in a new foot stop or rest next to the gas pedal. Still need to put the top of the pedal on, and got the rubber pieces on the brake pedal and the clutch pedal. So hopefully tomorrow I have the doors hung, and I'm also working on the right fender and the hood pieces. They are at the body shop right now, and I was working on them tonight. So hopefully those are painted tomorrow morning, and by tomorrow evening I hope to have all this stuff done. Woo! Alright, it's Wednesday, and just finished fixing the bad fuel on and the leaking water pump. So let's see what happens. There we go. Well, here we go. It is almost midnight on August 9th, 2007, which happens to be Jacob's birthday. And the car is pretty much done. I've been working hard and heavy the last day, trying to get everything on. Got the headlights on, got the grill shell, or radiator shell, the stainless bumpers. Got the horn on. Something's not right though. It's not wanting to work. So I'll have to figure that out. Of course, got the other door on, the other mirror. Got the cowl band on, stainless cowl band. few other things done. I put some weather stripping in the doors right here. Helps keep them from rattling around. You got the ignition switch and everything assembled with the keychain. Still got a couple little things left to do, but we got to be on the road about 5 or 6 hours. So I still have to build the wind deflector that I'm going to put on the trailer, and try to get that done tonight yet. Well, here we are, Friday morning, running behind schedule. Got the car on, got the hood on, all together. Built a little wind deflector there. Hopefully you don't look like too much like rednecks. Car's all ready to go, all strapped down. Of course, we're using Terry's truck, and we'll see if we can get this journey over with.
Not yours anymore, huh?
That's right.
You like it?
Yeah.
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 He'd like it if it was here for him.
I doubt it. It's not his no more.
What'd you think?
What?
You enjoyed it?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, yeah.
Good.
Nice smooth ride.
He's